Hello, hello. What's happening there? Okay, is it working? Yes. Hi, Husam. Hi, Team Garibe and Jan B. Good to see you go here again. Hi, Ian. Hey, Ak Tunis. Hey, Husam. How you doing? Hey, Spiros. Hey, BL. Hey, Kame. Good to see you all. Again, 1,000 apologies about yesterday. Um, I was installing all kinds of programs, trying to restream this across multiple different platforms. And what do you know? You install too many things, you try too many, trying to make the computer work a little bit too hard, and all of a sudden it just went blue screen, right? Had to send it in to get it fixed. Couldn't jump on to the call yesterday, or the daily market analysis yesterday. And also, I missed out. I missed out on trading the Swiss franc. I missed out on trading the pound, dollar. I only got my computer back this morning. Missed out on all the activity. I did catch the FOMC last night. No, not last night. The night before. It feels like such a long day. So the night before, but I missed out. I missed out on the Swiss franc and the pound dollar. So not very happy. Not very happy, and especially not very happy that I missed out on this market analysis together with you guys. I hope you guys didn't turn up and just went like started cursing and swearing, going, "Where's Jin?" Right? But we're back. Computer should be working good, and we're back. So good to see you all. Hey Nick, how you doing? Good trades for pound and euro yesterday. It is. I was just looking at the way the markets had been moving, and I just thought, oh, I missed out on all that possibility. Analysis was pretty much, pretty much on point. Um, so it happens. All right. Hey, Angel Case, good to see you. So we're back. Okay. So with that, again, hope it doesn't happen again, but shit like that happens. So again, thank you all for attending the daily market analysis. Today is Friday, so it is end of the week. Just be extra careful about potentially choppy price action. It usually happens after a lot of big news events. Traders has been trading. Well, traders have been trading. Traders have been trading quite a bit. Prices move quite a lot. Could be seeing some profit taking, some choppy price action heading into the U.S. session later today. All right, so just be, as a broad word of caution, be extra careful as we head towards the weekend. What we'll do today, we'll look at the fundamentals. I'll do a quick recap of what has happened, the FOMC, the Swiss franc that I missed, and the pound, the Bank of England's interest rate decision that I missed as well. We'll look at the technicals across the different charts and look for possible trade setups. As I was saying, choppy price action might not have a lot, or rather, I would be a little bit cautious about identifying a lot of trade setups. So we'll see what we get as we look into the charts. Again, at any point in time, if you do have any questions, please feel free to put it into the chat. Let me know. I am looking at the chat here on the side, so I'll be happy to address your questions as they come up. I actually had I was writing some analysis today, and you notice I missed out all my analysis yesterday as well, so I'm not happy about that. I was writing some analysis today, and one of the followers did drop me a message and said, can you look at WTI as well? So I just did a analysis on WTI. So if you want me to look at any analysis in particular, any charts, any pairs in particular, either drop it into the chat right now, or you can drop it to me as a message on TradingView. I'll be happy to jump onto that for you guys as well. Okay, just give me a second while I do something here. I'll just put in the link of my trading view on YouTube, just so that if anyone who's watching on YouTube, and if you haven't already, do help me out. Click on that link, jump on the trading view. You can follow me from there. And also during the stream, please click that little rocket ship button and also the thumbs up button on YouTube. It will help the algorithm somehow. And so far, we have more people watching on TradingView than YouTube, but we got more thumbs up on YouTube than rockets on TradingView. So come on, guys, on TradingView, click that little rocket ship button. All right. Okay. So that's the one time I'm going to say that. I know I do tend to say it quite a bit. I'll lower or tune down on that. All right. So before we get started, you don't need my Facebook. My Facebook is boring. So TradingView and YouTube is good. All right. So we have a quick request on pound yen already. I will get to that. Okay, let's get started. Quick disclaimer: any information contained in this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider what we share here for your appropriateness and to your circumstances. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. So please, 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 please do your own due diligence, DYODD, because if you do jump into all the different pairs, then you will be over trading, over leveraged, taking on too much risk, and also that you want to make sure, trying to make sure what you trade fits with your own trading strategy as well. Okay, don't just jump on because we were just sharing about a possible trade setup. Hey Peter, let's look at US CAD. Seems like a form of bullish pennant with a false breakout on H1. Okay, we will do that as well. So let's get to it. Dollar index is there. We last spoke about this on the 22nd of March. We were saying that the dollar index would trade lower to break 103 towards 102.60. It did that. It broke 103, went to 102.60. It actually went all the way down to that almost just slightly below 102. I like the round number, so 102 as a support level there. Okay, and then that one, 102.60 is now a resistance level. So FOMC news came out. I'll zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. FOMC news came out. It was at 103, dropped to that 102.60 and all the way down towards 102, bounced a little bit, tested 102 again, and then now it has retraced to the upside. Why did this happen? Why did the FOMC increase rates, but yet we saw the dollar drop? It was pretty much expected, right? I would say no, or very few people expected the dollar to go up, right? With all the uncertainty on the banking crisis, with the expectations of a 25 basis point rate hike, it's been priced in. Pretty much expected it that it was going to drop. It's only how far or how much it would drop by. So going to the news here. Where's the news? Okay, so at 2 a.m., FOMC economic projections, FOMC statement, and the Fed funds rate decision. 25 basis point rate hike from 4.75 to a 5%. That was as expected. The rate statement did not have any surprises, I would say. Okay, so looking at the rate statement here, recent indicators point to modest growth in spending and production. And where was it? This was quite funny that they put that in. It's a new line, a new paragraph that was put in, that the U.S. banking system is sound and resilient. Recent developments are likely to result in tighter credit conditions for households and businesses. Main thing is highly attentive to inflation risk. So as much as they talk about the banking crisis, it still comes straight back to inflation risk. main target level of 2% is where they're still aiming to get towards. And then you can pretty much skip all that. That's just reiterating the same thing, strongly committed to 2%. What I was reading was that it would monitor, where was that line? Would be prepared to adjust the stance of monetary policy if risks emerge that could impede the attainment of the goals, which is the 2% target. Right. So as the banking crisis could cause some uncertainty, they were worried that hey, if inflation doesn't drop as much as they expected or doesn't continue to disinflate, what Chair Powell likes to say, they could adjust the stance, take into account a wider range of information, labor market conditions, inflation pressures, inflation expectations, and financial and international development. So no big surprise here, right? So what happens is market is pricing in a 25 basis point rate hike, came out as expected, no surprises. We saw the dollar drop because the only reason why the dollar would have gone up or could have gone up is if Chair Powell came out and said we are, you know, what he said the last time at Congress, where they're looking to um, they could speed up rate hikes, or they could speed up rate hikes if the data warranted, right? So if he said that again, then that might, remind the markets of potentially upside or potential upside moves on the dollar, but didn't. No surprises there, and that's why we saw the dollar index drop all the way down to that 102 level. Okay. Any questions on the FOMC um, decision, statement, and press conference? Press conference was really uneventful. All right, let me just change this for now. 24th. Right, the press conference was very uneventful because if I zoom in right here, you can see that at 2 it dropped, right, and then at 2:30. So the press conference was at 2:30. It went all the way to about 3:30. So I was watching that. You see, it only just bounced up a little bit all the way to the morning, and then it started dropping back down again. So it was a bit of an uneventful press conference. Typically, well, why is because questions were a lot about the banking sector, about the banking crisis. What would they do? How could they reassure? How could they reassure depositors? Is the deposits safe? It was not so much about the monetary policy because that was no non-surprise. So it was very much about the banking crisis. That's why we didn't see too much movements on the dollar index. Okay, so right now at that 102.75 level, let me just check the charts on this side. Okay, let me just see once again. I saw some chatter here. Okay, right now at the 102.57 level, looking at the way, I'll zoom out and you can see that the dollar index, this is getting in the way of a lot of things. The dollar index has been on that big downward move, right? And even that still applies the pressure. So we have the starting point here. We have a bit of it here on the bearish trend line, and then again here, right? So what I'm still looking for here is still that downward move on the dollar. I'm not expecting this to break towards the upside or see significant upside potential. I think if we do see it bounce, it's a retracement to the upside for a resumption back down again. So right now at 102.57, I think that we're looking for this to get towards 102. Okay, so trade lower from 102.57 to 102. I don't think we're going to see a huge move. I don't think we'll see a huge move because it is towards the weekend, and you can see that Any news we have coming up, the only big news we have coming up is the manufacturing PMI, the services PMI for the US later today. And it's not going to change that much, right? It was 47.3. They're expecting 47 on manufacturing PMI. Services PMI 50.6, expecting 50.3. Again, no big surprise there. So I think that we're likely to see prices just sit right across, slowly move to the downside. Okay, so I'm not looking for any big surprises there on the dollar. Continue on with the downtrend to the downside. All good so far. Move this way. Okay, so I'm looking for that. Just because Tunis asked about the pound yen and also Peter asked about the US CAD, let's jump to those first. All right, let's jump to those first. Pound yen. There we go. Pound yen. Pound yen. Did he say anything else? No. Okay. Pound yen. That take that away. That was late already. Let me zoom out a bit. Well, it's found a little bit of a support level here, about that 106 area. Right, still within that 106 area. It could push up. Right, this is a good strong support level here, and I guess we have a support area here at 106. It looks like it's trading within this wide horizontal range, right? Wide horizontal range. So I wouldn't rule out the idea that for the pound yen to push towards the upside, but you need to think about, right, if we're looking for this as a buying potential, say about 106.50 towards 102, 162, 160.50 to 162. You're looking at about a 80 to 90 pip stop loss, 150 pip take profit, almost a 1:7, 1:1 risk to reward ratio towards upside. Why would it push up, right? You need to think about why would this. Are you having sound stuttering problems? Wait, where is it? I saw that chat question about sound stuttering. Oh, sorry. Chat. I will try not to move my head too much then. Let me just figure out what's happening here. Okay, hang on a second. All right. For ADP. Okay, I hope I'll try and move my head a bit less. I hope it's a bit better for you guys there. All right. Yes. Okay. Do let me know if it still persists, and we shall see what happens. Okay. So, what was I saying? What was I saying? Pound yen. Oh, why do we think it would shoot toward? Why could it go up? Yes, basket yen at a resistance. I also do look at the US yen, for example. It looks like it's pushing, well, at a big. So that's done already. Take that away. It wasn't bullish FOMC. So it came down to that 103 level, could push higher. Looks like it's going to rebound a little bit, right? So if this rebounds a little bit, we're going to see the US yen push up a little bit, which could drag the pound yen up. And then also another reason is that you can see the pound dollar resisting that downward move, right? Resisting that downward move does need to break above 1.23 before we see significant upside. So all that put together leads to, if we do see the yen, the US yen push up, if we see the pound yen or the pound dollar push higher, then that's going to lead to the pound yen pushing up. I think we could even be a little bit more aggressive and say about 160.40, 80 pip stop loss, 160 pip take profit, a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the upside. Okay, so pound yen buy above 160.40, stop loss 80, TP 160. Yes. Okay, cool. Then Peter asked about the CAD. So the CAD didn't get to the level. It did move exactly as we thought, hit that resistance, hit that trend line, and then turn back down. It did it once, hit that level and turn down, and then twice again hit that level and turn down, and then went straight back up. Okay, so I'll take that away. And right now, take that away as well. Peter was saying, look at US CAD. It's formed a bullish pennant with a false breakout on H1. So I guess you're looking at that as a pennant. I'm terrible with patterns. So that push up and then that downward trend line with a horizontal support with a breakout, with a false breakout on H1. Yes, I would say it's a little bit not really a false. I mean, a false breakout, I would like to see a push up and then a back down, pretty much back down straight away. It's pushed up and consolidated at that level. So let me just take this away. So I do see your bullish. Actually, I'll do this. You see this move. And then also you see that level of 1.3740 being quite strong, 1.3750 if anything. All right, 1.37. No, I like it here. All right, I like it here at 1.3740. So it did break out that trend line. It hit that horizontal, that near-term resistance level, and then it's retraced back down. So what we're looking for here on the US CAD, especially based on what we expect on the dollar, right? We're looking at the dollar whether it's going to push lower. We're looking for this to hold, that resistance level to hold, causing that false breakout, and then for this to trade back in again, back down to that support level of 1.3650. However, what I would say is that if you looked at this and you look to sell down, right, anticipating that false break coming back in, then you would say that I wouldn't like this trade. It's just a little bit too, that's 55 pips available, but it's towards the end of the week. There's no big news pushing it back. We are depending on the dollar to continue weakening. It's probably going to trade back down, but I don't think it'd be a great setup, right? Unless you really wanted to, then sell down from, especially with a round number that 1.37. If you went below 1.37, then your stop loss would be about 20 something pips, 20 to 40 pips, and your take profit would be 40 pips, 1:2. Yeah, you can see I'm a bit uncomfortable with that. I do think it's possibly going to come back down, but possibly not a great trading situation, right? Possible trade, but not a trade that I would place very high on my list. All right, Peter. So we could be looking on the US CAD below 1.37 to trade down towards 1.3650. All right, US CAD sell below 1.37 Stop loss about 20 pips. TP about 40 pips. Okay. Project X Technologies. Hello. Hey there. Generally speaking, is the market bullish or bearish? Which market in particular? I would say that, yeah, so which market in particular? Just let me know that. Okay. So with those two requests done, let's get back to our usual set, and also Project X can elaborate on his question. So based on DXY downtrend, is FOMC supposed to be referred to as bearish? Not in. I wouldn't say they were bearish per se. All right. I think they were more cautious. So they were not bearish, like they weren't saying, "Oh, they weren't being negative, bearish as in negative, right?" They're being cautious as in they weren't saying anything in particular. That's one, and then also that the FOMC was just doing as expected, was just saying things and taking action as expected, and that's why we saw it drop. So, okay, they were actually being a bit neutral, right? They're being predictable, they're being neutral, and that's why we saw prices drop. It wasn't, and you see, it wasn't a big drop, so they weren't bearish, and they weren't surprising markets with a move that no one expected. So it wasn't hawkish as well. So I say they were being neutral. All right, Ayakame. Okay, so Kiwi dollar here went up. This was the FOMC news, shot up, came back down, continued trading up again, tested that level of about 0.6280, and then retrace back down again. I don't know why I have those two lines there. Okay, I'll take this line away for now. And I'll say that with the way price had reacted at these points here, maybe even a little bit higher at 6260, I would say. Okay, why? It's because I like that point. Just looking at the tails now, and then also most recently what happened here and a bit of this area. We're looking for the dollar weakness to continue, looking for price to push higher on the Kiwi dollar, but it does need to break above that resistance first. Unless we see massive weakening on the dollar, I think that's going to be hard, especially towards the end of the week. What's most likely going to happen for today, I don't think there'll be a trade on the Kiwi dollar, and I think what's most likely going to happen is it will either consolidate within this range here, or it will trade slightly higher towards that resistance level. All right. Given that I've said that, it's probably going to drop, but I think that it's going to trade within this range and push slightly higher to the resistance. Then we'll see a better trading condition into next week. All right. So I think that best advice here will be, it's right in the middle. Don't force a trade out on the Kiwi dollar. I don't see anything interesting in particular to jump into. Desiree, we did pound yen already. I'm expecting pound to be bearish and yen to be strengthened as a safe haven. So we just did pound yen, Desiree. Pound yen again. Wait, okay, I'll jump to pound yen shortly. Let me just finish up on Kiwi dollar. Okay, so Kiwi dollar, no trade. Looking to retest resistance. Okay, so nothing there. Just a quick recap on pound yen because Desiree asked, one of my favorite people. So it's okay. I'll do it now. We were talking about this possibly pushing up. Currently trading at that 160 price area, looking for it to possibly push up because looking at the yen, it's found a bit of a support here at 130, so possibly pushing a little bit higher. Could see a bit of a retrace. And then looking at the pound dollar, take this away for now. Um, it's resisted. It seems to be resisting that. You can put this right across and see that happen as well. It seems to be resisting that downward move. Right, it's held that 1.2250, 1.2260 area quite well. If it does push up and break above that 1.23 level, we could see some upward move on the pound dollar. So because of that, pound dollar, I would go against what your expectation and say, I think it might push up a little bit. Pound yen might push up, US yen might push up a little bit as well, which is why we could see the pound yen trade higher, especially if it breaks above that 160.40 price level. All right, okay, done. Ayakame's gold I will get to shortly. Bear with me. All right, trade up on dovish FOMC. We saw that happen on the FOMC, so that was a good trade there. I tell you that I did get into Aussie on the FOMC, so I traded. So I'll tell you what I did. It was trading down, right, and I had that support level there. So I was a little bit naughty. I did get in before the news, right? So I did get in a buy because I was looking at this, and I didn't have this trend line there, so it's invalid now. I did have a support level there. I was thinking with the way the Aussie was moving, pushing higher, I was taking a little bit of a gamble. Got in before the news. I'll show you what I did here. I did get in just before the news. My stop loss was just at that recent low, so about 25, and then I had a 50 pip take profit. Right, so the news came out, boom, shot up, hit my take profit. I was super happy within that very quick move. That was my first trade on the Aussie. And then after that, I did, I think, the Euro, which I'll show you shortly again. I want to be favorite too. Hey, Ayakame, you have to turn up for a lot more sessions. And yeah, everyone's my favorite. Everyone's my favorite. Okay, so Aussie dollar now pushing back up again. I actually, right now, have a trade on the Aussie that I did get in. It's still running right now. So I might be a little bit distracted at 0.6687. And I might, okay, it's a break even anyway. Okay. Where's my trade? Let me see. I did have one at 0.6687. Yeah, so now my trade is at break even. I'm looking at a, oh, it's going to come down. Wait, hang on. I'll close it off now. Okay. I just closed off my trade just for a super small profit. Just didn't want to be distracted. I had my take profit up at that 40 level. So I had it as, how do I move this down again? Okay, I had it at a 20 pip stop loss, a 40 pip take profit. I've just closed it off. Just didn't want to be thinking about it a bit too much right now. Okay, that was a little bit, again, I was anticipating that we could see a big push to break that 6.7 level, 0.67. But for you guys, what I would say is that if you want to be a bit safer, then same thing like the Kiwi dollar, I'll be looking for this to break above 0.67 before looking for that buying opportunity up towards 6730, or at the very highest, I would say even at that tail there, 6756 or 6760. Okay, so you could be looking, if it breaks above that resistance, I'm super happy I closed that out, about just above 67, so 6710. Take profit 40-ish pips, stop loss tight just because it's broken that resistance about 20. So we'll gain a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the upside there for, sorry Wayne, is it better? What's wrong with my mic? Okay, I'm hoping this works a bit better. I need to figure out something for the mic. Okay, so okay, let's see if that works better. Just place the wire carefully. Yeah, Aussie dollar break above 0.67. Break above 0.67 to 6760. Stop loss about 20. Take profit about 40. Okay. Okay, thanks for that. Is it because it's thundering outside right now? I have no idea. Like, I'll try to stop moving as much. What am I looking at now? Okay. US yen. US yen trading slightly lower, back at that 103 level. I think it's going to stay within this range. See, I didn't think that today is going to be a big trade day. It's going to be a scalping day, right? Typically, I always find that end of the week is a scalping day, unless there's big news. So I think that the US yen is likely to remain between that 129.80 support level here and that 130.60. Well, I wouldn't say I'll say it's a whole area here as a support. Okay, this whole area as a bit of a support level. You can see that we're not going to see a big directional change unless it breaks either to the downside or bounces strongly upwards. Hey, I'm Lida, no worries. Good to see you here. Okay, any other questions? Let me see. Okay, good. What was I going to say? Okay, so US yen likely to consolidate between 120, 129.80 and 130.60. 129.80 and 130.60. Okay, I think this is likely to be the case quite across the board. Pound dollar. Okay, pound dollar. Yeah, we're looking for this to push up. Needs to break above 123 with that trend line applying the upward pressure. Needs to break above 123 before we're going to see some upside. But the recent high is at 123.40. Again, I'm not super keen. You could scalp it up towards 123.40. But that's a scalping kind of trade, an M15 kind of trade, right? You're looking for this to break and then you trade it up towards the 123.40 resistance on recent high. I would love to have seen Bank of England push it up towards 124, but 1.24, but it didn't happen. Okay, so with that, I would say that pound could retest 1.2340, but I wouldn't suggest a trade. And also, I'll tell you more about this. The pound dollar, you can see that the Bank of England in news decision actually saw, where was it, Thursday at about what time? 8 p.m. Thursday at 8 p.m., right? When the news came out, it shot up, it came back down, pushed up a little bit. So it just fluctuated along this 123 level. Didn't have that big push because the Bank of England actually increased rates by 25 basis points as expected. We still had two members causing a dissent in terms of voting to hold rates. So there was a little bit of uncertainty, and also it was on the summary. One highlight point was that um, it predicts that inflation will fall even more sharply than expected, right? And that's why markets started considering that maybe the Bank of England is putting in or preempting the tone that they might have hit the peak rates. That means that we might not see further rate increases, or we might see a slowdown on rate increases. Maybe at the next meeting they say we're voting to hold rates. So because of that, despite the rate increase, we actually saw price, push up, come back down, and then given the uncertainty about future rate increases, we sit right across, right? So it's pushing towards 123, needs to clear that 123.40 level, 1.2340 level before we're going to see any big upside moves. So that's why nothing exciting on pound dollar, likely to retest that 1.2340 high. Okay. All right. Then we look at the euro dollar. Look at the euro dollar. That's the trade I got into as well. So again, I got into this. So I had two trades just before the news. I got in. It was smaller. It wasn't my usual trading size. Like I was sharing with you guys, I was looking for that break of that 1.08 level. I did not enter before the news on this one. I had a pending order, so I did the same trade here. Right, I did this trade here, but I didn't go for the full 100 pips. I had it down at about 80. I had about 80 pips. So I had a 40 pip stop loss, and 80 pip I had, if I'm not wrong, I had the same price there, 1.0820. So that was an 80 pip move. Very happy. Thank you, Harith. Okay, so I would take that away. It wasn't a hawkish FOMC. And then I had that move. So within the first move of the news release, hit my take profit and I'm out. Then I didn't, that was it. I sat through the press conference. I watched everything. I read everything. Went to bed at about 4 o'clock, but nothing much else happened after that. Two trades. I think one was about 50, one's about 80. So it was a good trading night for the FOMC. So with the euro dollar now, again, almost back to where we started off. Right now at that 1.0832 price level, consolidating, right? So what you look here is that it's consolidating, it's sitting right across. This is not a resistance level anymore, this is support. We're still looking for the upward push. All right, you can see if I just drag that right across, we're still looking for the upward push. So long as price stays above that support level, we're still looking for it to test 1.0940. I would like to see a bit of a drop, test, and then a bounce off. I don't think it's going to happen today. Right, we do have some news to be released. French PMI, services manufacturing PMI, German manufacturing and services PMI. You can see that those are expected to show some positive news, especially on the manufacturing front. Right, Eurozone PMI, not a big change expected, so I don't think we're going to see a big surprise there. Possibly going to see some volatility push up a little bit, consolidate within this range. I would love to see this test lower and then bounce back up, right? Test lower and then bounce back up, just so that it would have a nice setup, in this case, at about 1.0820, take profit of 110 towards that resistance level, stop loss about 30 to 40 pips, a 1:3 risk reward ratio to the upside. We'll do whatever you say. Hey, Harith, please, please, please don't just do whatever I say. Um, Disclaimer still applies. Please make sure you do your own due diligence. All right, buddy. Scalp big yesterday on yen pairs. Good stuff, M leader. Okay, so that's my looking for it to come down, possibly come down, test that level, and push up towards 109.30. Again, I don't think, I'll be surprised if it happens today, but you never know. Okay, or if it breaks out of this consolidation, then you could be looking at about 108 dot. I'll say 108.50, right? So if it doesn't retrace and it breaks out the consolidation, 108.50. I mean, in this case, stop loss will be quite big at about 55 pips. Take profit at 84. A 1:1.5 risk reward ratio to the upside, right? But I would love to see it test 108 before buying up. So about 30K. So euro dollar, look for it to test 108, not 108, 1.08, then to buy up, stop loss about 30, say 40 pips, TP about 110, right? All good, all good. Any questions so far? Anything to look at? Any stress? Any worries? None. Okay, good. So with that done on the euro, I'll get to the Swiss franc later. We do have the SMB decision to look at. I didn't get into that trade. Let's look at gold. All right. So gold came down, right all the way down, tested, look at this, tested this level, bounced back up. That was what we were looking for. Unfortunately, I was looking at the Aussie, I was looking at the euro. I didn't want to jump onto a trade. I didn't want to look at too many things, especially at that early morning time. Didn't want to take a risk on my prop trading challenge account as well, because my prop trading challenge account, I traded all on gold only, past phase 2. So I just wanted to take a bit of a cautious approach on that. But look, it tested that 1933 level, so it didn't break below, right? It tested 1933 and then it bounced up. It bounced right back up to that 2000 level and then retrace again. So it's tested twice now. Tested 2000 one time, big retrace. Tested 2000 a second time, and now retrace slightly, but possibly not as much as before. So what I would say is that, let me take this away. I don't like too many things on my charts. Right, head and shoulder played out nicely. That bounce back up. Okay, Team Garbe, I will catch up on that shortly. Hang on a second. What was I saying? Gold, looking for it to test 2000 again. Need something big to happen for it to break 2000. So I'll just say be a bit cautious there. But yeah, leave this for next week. Let it get up to 2000, hopefully, and then we could possibly either, next week. What do we have next week? Do we have any big news? Why only gold on the challenge? Just because. Hang on, let me just check the news first. We got Aussie, we have Euro, CPI, we have US. Okay, not a lot of news for next week. Not a lot of news for next week. So I think that gold, look for it to test that 2000 level again, or slowly climb up or sit in that area here, and then look to see next week what the dollar is going to do, whether we could see gold push higher again. Right? The next level on gold would be, the big one is at 2070. So that's a potential. don't rush into it yet. Not ready to rush into it yet. Needs to clearly break above that recent high, see that dollar drop, and then you can um, look to trade it up. Okay, PCE. Was that PCE? Hang on, I missed that one. Uh, US PCE price index. No, we got the US GDP. We do have the US PCE price index. That's on Friday. Um, month to month. Yeah, could move, could cause dollar to weaken a little bit. I'm sure we'll update through the week next week on gold with that coming up. So I think for now, just wait for it to get to that level. All right, to get to that 2000 level. Okay. So to that question of why only gold on challenge, seen a lot of traders preferring that. I don't know about other trade. I don't know about other traders. Why I did it is because I've got my own trading account on FX. A lot of the people here watching have been following me for years. Um, I've been talking about FX, 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 FX all the time. So, and never really that much into gold. So I just wanted to do gold as another, a branch off, something else to do, something else to focus on. And I just thought, I don't want to put all my so-called put all my eggs in one basket, trading FX onto the challenge as well. Just want to challenge myself on another front. So I did gold. So that's the reason why I chose to do gold on the challenge. And then I'm actually on the lookout for a challenge, a prop challenge again, where I can do cryptocurrency trading. That would be interesting. So I'll be looking for that. Right. If you get any recommendations, do let me know. Do let me know if you have any recommendations on something for cryptocurrency trading. Yeah, it is totally different from forex moves. So it does have some correlation, but there's a lot more factors that goes into influencing the price of gold. Um, it's not just monetary policy, but it's the correlation between not just currency pairs, but also market correlation, intermarket analysis. So that's one reason why I've taken on that additional challenge. All right, then the next challenge is cryptocurrency prop trading challenge. Okay, so Tim Garibe asked, can it go to 1.0785? I think you're talking about the euro dollar. Let's look at that. 1.0785. It could. 1.078 1.0785. If it does break towards 1.0785, say for example from here it comes down, then I'll probably be a bit more cautious with that support level. It will be turned into a resistance level. Um, might be looking for further deeper retracement rather than looking to buy straight away. So needs to stay above 1.08 for me to be looking for that buying opportunity or to maintain that buying bias. All right. Hope I answered your question there on the euro dollar. I updated that as well. Okay. Good, 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 good. Updating gold. I was saying that we're looking for it to trade up to 2000 again, but leaving for next week. Okay. I'm just typing whatever I'm thinking. This is a thought. All right, cool. Lucky last, we look at the Swiss franc. It kind of almost moved as we expected, dropped straight down. Didn't drop as low as that 0.91 support level, came to 0.9118. Wait, 0.9118, and then it's bounced back up. Right now, within that, in the middle of that resistance and that support level. Again, like I was telling you guys, very directional buyers on the Swiss franc, very dependent on the dollar index. The most recent one we saw yesterday again was the Swiss National Bank increasing rates by 50 basis points. 50 basis points at 4:30, and you see what happened. Zoom in a little bit. At 4:30, 50 basis points, and all it did was trade down from 0.9160 down to 0.91, almost 20. 40 pip move on a 50 basis point rate hike. It's not normal, right? It's not normal. So it was very heavily influenced because of that dollar index. If I show you the dollar index at that same time yesterday at 4 o'clock, zoom in a bit. So at about 4 o'clock, you can see that the dollar index was actually bouncing off. So the dollar index was providing a bit of that counteractive move to the upside, and that's why the Swiss franc, tried to drop, couldn't sustain the drop, and then push back up. So right now, consolidating within that support and resistance range. I think that is not going to be super exciting. I would say that if anything, it might, if that dollar does push back up, if dollar pushes back up by a little bit of surprise, we could see this trade up, but I think that it's going to trade within this range. Maybe into next week, come down to test that 0.91 support level. Okay, so hey, I started off the session telling you guys, it's possibly choppy price action, not a lot of things happening, and it seems like it after going through all the charts. Between support and resistance, do nothing. Okay. So again, this should be a good. I hope you guys take this as a good example or learning experience where it's not always the case where we're going to jump on, turn on the charts and go, oh, I'm going to buy here, sell there, scalp this, swing that. There might be situations, and a lot of retail traders don't get that. Is there might be a lot of situations where you look at it and go, all right, I know price is likely to move in that direction or likely to test this level, but it's just probably not something that is going to be a good trading setup or something that you want to get involved in. It's possibly just go, okay, good analysis, but let's take a break on Friday, have a good drink, have many good drinks, and then come back on Monday, right? When dust is all settled, or dust is pretty much settled, but we're going to see a clearer direction. Dollar index is trading right at that range there, no clear direction. Then you start a brand new week again. Instead of trying to force, this is what I mean by forcing out trades. You're sitting there going like, oh, I have to trade this, I have to buy that, or I'm looking to get onto gold to trade it up towards 2,000. It probably will get there. You probably will make money, but it's probably going to be a lot of hard work trying to trade it up, right? So I want to go for the easier trades. What I mean by easier trades is like easily identified. I can put it in, I can let it run, I can not worry about it too much. All right, so quite a short and sharp session. If you do have any questions, please let me know. Terribly sorry about the mic sounding and also for yesterday's session. If you haven't already, please help me out. Click on that rocket ship button on TradingView and also the thumbs up button on YouTube. Guys on YouTube is winning right now. There are lesser viewers on YouTube, but more thumbs up compared to the people on TradingView. So hey guys on TradingView, click that rocket ship button. Yes, I will still be having a Fibonacci class. I will have to do the slides first. I have to put up the content. I'll do the material first. Been a bit busy on other stuff as well, so I will get to that. All right. Nice people on YouTube. Well, nice people on YouTube and on TradingView. So with that said, please remember, trade well, trade safe, have a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday next week, same time, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8, same place, TradingView and on YouTube. Take care and bye-bye now.